Hello, this is Sakari and Sakari's Violin School again. I promised to talk about the spiccato-sautille, and it's one of the things that I feel that many players they fail with the wrist and fingers because uh, one intends to use very easily this part of the arm in order to produce the spiccato-sautille. And the problem with this is to make it fast, for instance, in a fast tempo, that you start to get tensed here in the shoulder. So it becomes like a cramp movement, and finally you lose, probably it can be that you lose completely the feeling of the tempo and feeling of the pulse. And you might wonder what's wrong, because the spiccato doesn't function rhythmically equally, and also why the sound is quite rotten. I show you what I mean, but by this. Of course, you can adjust the sound a little bit, but very easily the down bow will dominate. And the reason is that the down bow dominates is that the tip of the bow this is the sign. It's maybe not the reason, but it's the sign when the bow, the tip of the bow is doing this, and it means tick, tick, tick. Always the down bow gets an emphasis, which is not the purpose of the spiccato. So the purpose is equality of the sound. And how do you do it? I mean, by keeping the horizon instead of this. And this is very, very important to observe the tip of the bow, so that it's really, you can see this jumping movement, it's kind of jumping movement, but you don't see this, you know. And this is one of the first issues that you have to consider when you practice the spiccato-sautille in the middle of the bow. And how to do this is that you keep the horizon first of all with the arm, that you don't let the arm to go down. If the elbow is too low, this is the result. Very easily. So that the wrist and fingers they take the control, which doesn't sound like a control at all, because it's uncontrolled sound, and it's simply too loose. So how to do this? This is the key is that the elbow is somehow on the same level as the wrist, and then the angle of the bow not too much like this, because when you have it like this, again the wrist starts to, and fingers they begin to do their own tricks, which is not it's not under control. So the control is in the bigger muscle groups instead of fingers and wrist. And I show you what I mean by this angle of the bow, and then the height of the elbow, which makes the and finally in meantime you learn to adjust the tempo control. I mean, you learn to control the tempo. The spiccato is completely in your hands, so to say. It's in your control. It's your mind control which can function. Sometimes you have a good mind control, but your physics doesn't do it sometimes. And the spiccato movement looks like this. Even you see fingers, thumb and the wrist moving. I don't do the movement from here. This is a misconception completely, to do the spiccato from here. And that means that when the fast movement happens here, the crump is here. This is crumped. So, how to do it? The idea is to divide this tension, what you otherwise would have here, by doing this. Otherwise would be here. You divide this tension. You divide it to the whole arm. And this is how it looks like. And this is how it sounds as well. And I show you from this angle. My whole arm basically is moving because the big muscle groups takes the responsibility. And make the spiccato-sautille played with triplets, because this is a good way also to separate the triplets a little bit, so you get an idea of the sound, how it should be in the spiccato. So dampo. So this symbolizes this. So that every time, every triplet begins with a similar kind of volume, similar kind of resonance. So that there is complete, perfect equality in the sound. They are not like in the spiccato usually it sounds, and this is not the thing. So you should equalize the sound by having the elbow a little bit higher, like this, about approximately the same level, having the angle of the bow more vertical, and thinking about dividing the tension, which otherwise would be here, by this, dividing the tension to the whole arm basically. So as you see, all the joints, they move. Of course, mostly here. You can see most of the movement here in the fingers. But I'm not doing it from here, from wrist and fingers. So these are the first things concerning the spiccato. And in the next program, I will go more detailed into the thing which develops this tension, what I talked about. Or let's say it's a control. It can be thought in two ways. Tension refers to being tensed. I don't mean being tensed. I mean that the purposefulness of the movement, which serves a good sound, serves a good articulation, healthy violin sound in the spiccato-sautille. And next time I will talk about more specific what to do in order to equalize this responsibility of the arm during playing the spiccato-sautille. And until then, good luck with this. I hope you got some idea about the division of the energy, division of the whole thing. Okay, bye.